I said that I didn't want to do this, but it hurt. And he said that he didn't mean to hurt me and that he loved me.
Watching the show, there were times when I really felt for this guy, obviously, and there were other times when I just thought he was the biggest in the world.
See, I told you I could move the jury. 10-2. That's how it's gonna go.
What was your take on him? Like, did you like the guy? Could you?
It's interesting. When you're playing a character like this, you want to remove as much judgment as you can, and you want to try to empathize as much as you can. And I think that that's what I tried to do first and foremost, you know what I mean? I wanted to come from as educated a perspective as I could, so I familiarized myself with plenty of primary and secondary sources in terms of research material. I went through the court TV footage quite a bit. I understand that some of the behavior that he has in this show is difficult for people to digest.
We're gonna demand more out of life, and that means a few things, and chiefly, it means that you don't f***ing drink tap water anymore, Erik!
But my performance sits at the nexus of so many different things. It sits at the nexus of the research that I've done, the scripts that I was given, the direction that I was given, and the strong interpretation and point of view that I formed of this person who is, in my view, one of the most enigmatic human beings to have lived in the last 100 years.
Did you sometimes feel like you were playing two parts because there were two such strong different sides of him? One, the kind of jerky one that we saw over and over, and then on the other hand, the really vulnerable, sort of almost a shell of a person?
No, I didn't feel like I was playing two people. I felt as though that I was playing one person who was multifaceted and had many strengths and many weaknesses and different colors to his humanity. And he had different ways of coping with different aspects of his life. I once heard that complex characters are 80% one thing and 20% of the opposite thing. And if you look at the case, there are plenty of contradictory incidents that Lyle was involved in.
Has it affected you knowing that Erik has spoken out against the series?
Yeah, it's of course affected me, and I empathize with Erik and Lyle Menendez. I can only imagine how difficult it must be to have the most traumatic moment of your life played on a screen in front of millions of people.
Coming away from it, do you feel like if you were a juror, you would have found them guilty, or because of the extenuating circumstances, despite the contradictions, you would have had to say, you know, not guilty of murder, certainly not life in prison?
It's a really interesting question. When I took on this role, I had to develop a really strong point of view about this character. And this point of view came after watching the trial over and over and over again. And I do have a strong point of view, and I have an answer to this question, but I think that it's really important to me that I not share it.